Hi everyone, and welcome to the QuickBooks Enterprise Wholesale Distribution Demonstration. My name is Rhiann Salter with Minding My Books. I've been working with QuickBooks software for over 20 years. I've helped over hundreds of businesses implement QuickBooks Enterprise. I specialize in finding out what specific needs you require for your business and if QuickBooks Enterprise is a good fit. If it is a good fit, we then work with you, your staff, and accountant during the implementation process. Also, since I'm an Intuit reseller, I'm able to save you more money than if you purchase directly from Intuit's telesales or online through their website. Here's what we'll cover today. First, we'll talk about the chart of accounts. Then we'll go into item setup. We'll show you how to take an order. And then we'll go through the process of ordering inventory. We'll show you how to receive inventory, and we'll show you how to fulfill your orders. Then we'll show you the reports that are the most important to wholesalers and distributors. Now let's go ahead and get started. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're using the sample wholesale distributor sample file, and we're using the manufacturing and wholesale version for QuickBooks Enterprise. First, we'll talk about the chart of accounts. The chart of accounts is a complete list of a company's account and their balances. When you set up your company file, QuickBooks will automatically create a chart of accounts based upon the industry that you choose. QuickBooks will allow you to edit that chart of accounts and add any accounts that you need to add. One thing that is unique about QuickBooks Enterprise is that the amount of accounts you can add to your chart of accounts. In our Pro and Premier software, you can have up to 10,000 accounts in your chart of accounts. In QuickBooks Enterprise, we've increased that to 100,000. So you have 10 times as many accounts in your chart of accounts in QuickBooks Enterprise. Now we'll go ahead and go back to the home screen. Next, we'll talk about the items list. QuickBooks is item driven. That means you're going to use items to make sales and to make purchases. This particular company file is set up as a wholesale distributor for lighting fixtures. The items list is made up of using items and sub-items. In this case, the main items are used to categorize or group together like items. Let's take a look for the items setup for this brass pendant. We'll go ahead and we'll go to the item. They set up this item with an item number instead of an item name. It's a sub-item of ceiling fixtures. They've also recorded the manufacturer's part number. They use the unit of measure, the lowest unit of measure being in each. They've assigned a cost. They've assigned a sales price. As you can see, QuickBooks calculates your margin and markup. If you wanted to change your markup or margin, you can do that by clicking the Edit Markup button. In here, if you edit your markup or margin, QuickBooks will automatically calculate your new sales price. If you change your sales price, QuickBooks will calculate your markup and margin. Then we'll go ahead and we'll click OK. You can choose your cost of goods sold account, you can assign your preferred vendor, and you can choose your income account where you want your income on your profit and loss. You can choose an asset account, and you can enter a minimum and a maximum reorder point. QuickBooks will show you your on-hand quantity, your average cost, the number of items you have on purchase orders, and the number of items you have on sales orders for this item. To create a new item, we would choose Item, then New, and then here's where you can create a new item. We'll create a new non-inventory part. If you use non-inventory parts to buy and sell, or if you use them in assemblies and purchase them for specific customers and jobs, it is very important that you check this box. This will allow you to assign a cost and a sales price to the non-inventory item part. Now, a couple of things that are unique to the items list in QuickBooks Enterprise is first, the number of items you can add to your items list in QuickBooks Enterprise has been greatly increased. In our Pro and Premier QuickBooks, you can have up to 14,500 total items in your items list. In QuickBooks Enterprise, we've increased that to 1 million. So you can have 1 million items on your items list in QuickBooks Enterprise. We've also increased the number of custom fields you can have for your items. Custom fields help you greater define the items that you already track in QuickBooks. In our Pro and Premier software, you can add up to 5 custom fields for items, and in QuickBooks Enterprise, we've increased that to 15. You can have up to 15 custom fields in QuickBooks Enterprise. We've also given you the ability to dictate what information can go into those fields, including the ability to create a multi-choice list. And we've given you the ability to require the use on both the transaction and list. And now we'll go ahead and go to the home screen. QuickBooks Enterprise also has 2 optional modules related to items. The first optional module is Advanced Pricing. Advanced Pricing allows you to set sophisticated pricing rules based on a certain set of criteria, like customer, item, sales rep, and class. It allows you to create quantity discount for items. It allows you to see the last price you sold an item for, and it will allow you to show the standard price and the discounted price on your sales form. There is a separate video for sales pricing. If you'd like to see the advanced pricing, please contact me. The other optional module is Advanced Inventory. Advanced Inventory will allow you to track inventory in multiple inventory sites, and it will allow you to track bin locations inside of those inventory sites. You can track serial numbers or lot numbers for items that you buy or sell. You can use FIFO costing instead of the average cost. And it will give you the ability to use barcodes on your items, to purchase them or to receive them and scan them on your sales forms. There's also a separate video for the advanced inventory, so if you're interested to view the video, please contact me. Now that we're done with that, we will go ahead and exit out of there, and we'll go back to the home screen. Now let's talk about taking an order in QuickBooks. QuickBooks Enterprise will allow you to create a quote or estimate. So if you needed to create a bid for a job, QuickBooks will allow you to do that. Then from the quote or estimate, you can create it into a sales order. You can create a purchase order to order from a subcontractor or vendor, and you can also create an invoice directly from the estimate or quote. You can also create sales orders in QuickBooks. Sales orders help you manage the sale of products and services that your customers order. QuickBooks will allow you to take multiple sales orders and turn them into one invoice. It will also allow you to create several invoices from one sales order. It will allow you to track the back orders and see the number of items you've already invoiced. Now, from a sales order, you can create a purchase order to order any parts that you need to order. Let's take a look at a different sales order. Okay, this sales order lists the items that the customer would like to order, the quantities and the price for each item, and the amount. QuickBooks also has an Available to Promise feature. The Available to Promise will show you that the quantity of items that you have on hand, the number you have on the sales order, and your quantity available to promise. It will also show you any quantities that you have available on purchase orders. From here you can see the details for purchase orders and sales orders. If you do manufacturing in QuickBooks, you would also be able to see the items on pending bills. Now when I choose to create a purchase order, it will give me the option to create a purchase order for all allowed items, meaning it will place all the items on the purchase order, or I can create it for selected items. If I choose selected items, it will then give me a choice as to which items I would like to place on the purchase order. Because different items on the sales order comes from different vendors, I would need to create separate purchase orders for that vendor. I can also order inventory from an inventory report. From the Inventory Stock Status by Item or the Inventory Stock Status by Vendor report, I can use the Auto Create PO feature. But on the Inventory Stock Status by Item report, this will show you your item. If you entered your minimum or maximum reorder point, you would see that here on the screen. If you show your on-hand quantity and the amounts that you have on sales orders, any amounts reserved for assemblies, then it shows you your available quantity. And then this check mark means that this is an item you need to reorder. It will show you the quantity that you already have on purchase orders and calculate your quantity that you need to reorder. It will show you your next delivery date for your purchase order, and it will show you the amount of sales you make per week for that item. Now, to use the Auto Create PO feature, we're going to use this box that says to use available quantity to reorder. And then we'll click the Auto Create PO feature. Now this is the Auto Create reorder screen. It took all of the items with a check mark on my report and placed them on the screen for me. At this point, if I wanted to order them all, I could choose to select all, and QuickBooks is telling me it is going to automatically create 3 POs for me because I have 3 different light fixtures. Let's go ahead and create these purchase orders. Here's the report of the purchase orders we created. QuickBooks also has a drop ship feature, so if all these items on this particular purchase order were to be shipped to a particular job or customer, I could have them drop ship directly to that customer. QuickBooks Enterprise will also let you have an unlimited number of ship-to addresses per customer. And of course, QuickBooks will allow you to create purchase orders by scratch. But after you create the purchase order and receive the items, you'll have to receive the items in QuickBooks. In QuickBooks, you can either receive the items with or without a bill. Receiving the item without a bill is an item receipt. If you receive the items with a bill, then QuickBooks will include a due date. But to receive an item, we will choose a vendor. QuickBooks will recognize if you have any purchase orders existing for your vendor and ask if you want to receive against one or more of them. I'll click Yes. QuickBooks will give me the purchase orders for that vendor, and you'll choose the one that you want to receive against. QuickBooks will automatically take all of the items that were on the purchase order and place them on your bill or item receipt. If you received a different quantity, you would change it here, and QuickBooks would leave the purchase order open until you received all of the items. If you had the optional Advanced Inventory feature, you would also have the option to scan in items directly on the bill or the item receipt. Now in our Pro and Premier software, and as a default in QuickBooks Enterprise, item receipts and bills are the same form. For some wholesalers and distributors, that can cause multiple issues. So in QuickBooks Enterprise, we include what I'll call an optional standard module. This means you will have to turn on a preference to get the feature, but we include it at no additional cost. The additional feature is called Advanced Inventory Receiving. One of the things that Advanced Inventory Receiving does is that it separates item receipts and bills into separate transactions, and it will also make it easier to prepay for inventory from vendors. Now, something that is very important about Advanced Inventory Receiving is once you turn it on, you cannot turn it off. So it's extremely important that you read and understand the help index prior to turning it on. Now we'll go back to the home screen. Next, we'll talk about fulfilling your orders. This includes a sales order fulfillment worksheet. Under Customers, you'll find the Sales Order Fulfillment Worksheet. The Sales Order Fulfillment Worksheet lists all sales orders that include inventory items. The icons on the Sales Orders Fulfillment Worksheet make it easy to understand whether you can fulfill your sales order or not. The green dot means you have everything in that sales order and can fulfill it. The half yellow circle means you have half the items and can fill it in part. And the red X means you have none of the items and the sales order cannot be fulfilled. The Sales Order Fulfillment Worksheet gives you the date of the order. It will give you the ship date of the sales order number, the customer, the open amount, and the amount you can fulfill. And it tells you the sales order that has been partially invoiced. The top part gives you a summary of the order, and the bottom part gives you the details of the items that are on the sales order. From the Sales Order Fulfillment Worksheet, you can also print pick list, packing slips, and sales orders. To fulfill a sales order, I would double-click to bring the sales order to the screen. From this screen, I could create my invoice. Again, when I create my invoice, it will give me the choice to create the invoice for all the items on the sales order or for selected items on the sales order. Then the screen will show you all of the items that were ordered, the date of the sales order, your on-hand quantity, the quantity that was ordered, any items that were previously invoiced, and the items that you're going to invoice now. I'm going to change this first line to 15 and then click OK. The columns show me the number of items that were ordered on the sales order, the number that was previously invoiced, any items that are still on back order. Now remember, I changed it from 20 to 15. The amount that's being invoiced now, and my total. Now QuickBooks has a built-in shipping manager. So from the invoice, you can choose to send Ship tab. And here you'll see we integrate with FedEx, UPS, USPS. For more information on the shipping manager, you can go to our website to learn more. The website address is shown on the screen above. Now we'll go to the home screen. In the Manufacturing Wholesale Edition, we group the most common reports together. We have a Sales by Rep detail report. It lists your sales rep and their sales by line item. You have Sales by product or item. So it lists your items, number of sales for a period of time, percent of sales, and the average sales price. We also have a sales by customer type, a sales volume by customer. This is a gross sales by a customer. And with most QuickBooks reports, we can zoom in if we want to see the detail that makes up that number. Go ahead and click out of there. Next, we have a sales by class item and type. So if I wanted to see what category of items I was selling more of, I have a profitability by product report. This is my item profitability report. It shows me my cost, my revenue, and the amount of profit I'm making per item per category. I can see the detail by expanding the item type. Then we have our open sales order by item report. This will list the item and any open sales orders that you have for that item. Open purchase orders by item. Again, by item, it lists the purchase orders that item is listed on. Open sales order by customer. This will show you the customer, your sales order, the original amount of your sales order, and the open balance of your sales order. And then you have your inventory reports. You have your inventory reorder report by vendor, where the inventory stock status by vendor report. And again, from this report, we can auto create POs. And you also have a physical inventory worksheet. This will allow you to count your inventory and then create your inventory adjustment. Now we'll go back to the home screen. That concludes our wholesale distribution demonstration. We offer a complimentary consultation and the best discount pricing available for your business. And remember, we meet and usually always beat pricing than if you purchase direct through Intuit online or telesales. Also, if you're currently using QuickBooks Enterprise, we can run a cost comparison to see if we can get better pricing than what you're currently paying. Please call me at 877-757-8223 or email me at rayanne.salter@mindingmybooks.com. Thank you so much for your time today.